Well, hi there, and it's review time. Banggood asked me if I'd like to take a look at this Volantex RC Mini Super Cub. Now, this is not normally the type of planes I fly. I sort of fly, you know, foam, FPV, wings and stuff. And this is a sort of ready to fly out of the box. Comes with a controller and a battery ready to go. And I thought this would be interesting because I'm always looking at stuff which I think it might be a good introduction for people getting into the hobby. So I'm not looking at this as a beginner FPV plane, just more of a beginner plane. Can you sort of easily take it up and fly it around? So let's take a look what's in the box and then put it together and see if we can fly it. I must just point out that this says this product is not a toy. Well, not according to my wife. Well, let's crack the box open and see what's in it, shall we? I see it says here these 3-channel for easy first time flight, 4-channel high performance. This is a 4-channel one. Inside the box, decals, a quite hefty feeling manual. There's the main wing. Oh, it's so dinky, look at it, very cute. The horizontal stabilizer, rudder, landing gear. Do you know, of all the planes I've got and had, I've never ever had wheels. I've got one wheel on the Mini Talon, but that's it. So this is a bit of a new and exciting thing for me. Here's the main fuse. You can see in here it's got 2 servos and a receiver. Obviously got the brushless motor installed in the front there. That must be the battery bay, I'm guessing, but I haven't looked at the instructions yet. Got the clevises ready to go on the horns. In here we have the radio. There's one switch there. It says servo direction. Runs off AA batteries, which I can see. Ugh, squeak. Some AA's to run a transmitter. Also got this 500 milliamp hour 2-cell. Only rated as 10 amps, but I'm sure the motor doesn't pull that much. Got some screws and stuff. Hopefully the instructions will tell me what to do with them. Some more screws there. Oh, I've never seen one of these. It's the first time I've ever seen a USB charging cable for a 2S LiPo. Control horns, good. With a little nose for the motor. Couple of props. Another random washer and a screw. And a little Phillips screwdriver. So that just about all fits in frame, all the bits you get in the box. So that's what you have. I'm ready to build it. I'll have a flick through the instructions and see how quickly it goes together. I'll see you in a bit. And here it is, all built. Went together pretty easily. No problems, everything just screwed together. If I had a complaint about the manual, it would be where it says things like attach here with screw. It's not very explicit about which screw to use, and because there is a whole bunch, some look like they were threaded, some self-tapping, it was not obvious, but you know, you can work it out by process of elimination. So yeah, it looks quite scaled, doesn't it? It actually probably took longer to get all the decals done than it did to actually build the plane, but that's just me and trying to put stickers on straight, really. Let's plug the battery in. We'll just go through a little few things. The tail wheel steers along with the rudder, which is quite useful for on the ground. What you've got on the transmitter here is this switch. Now, by default, if we look at the aileron movement, there's not much there. And by using the switch, we add that much. It's probably easier to see on, if I look at the elevator, without, with. So no expo, it's just a basic radio, but you've got 2 dual rates there. Seems to have a fail-safe set, so if I set the motor, then turn the radio off, just shuts off, which is pretty good because you don't want it flying away, obviously. So, time to get this off to the field and see if it flies. Join me there. Well, here we are in the field. It's not too breezy, it's around 10 miles an hour wind, which it suggests is basically the limit for this unless you're experienced. We haven't really got much of a runway, so it's probably a hand launch to start with. we see where we go from there.
Well, we didn't get off to the smoothest start. This first launch went up, I put some rudder input in and managed to do that. Unfortunately, this broke a prop, so I had to go home and get the spare. Now, although I checked all the surfaces on the plane, it's got little switches on the radio to reverse the channels, and on this one I'd managed to reverse the ailerons and so quickly brought it down as well as I could in the field. No real damage here, so we're finally off with a flying plane and all the control surfaces heading in the right direction. So what I remember to do this time is, of course, take it up to a reasonable height before actually putting some controls in and making sure it's okay. And from this point on, it was absolutely fine. So I'm not totally sure what that problem was. I had a look at the CG after I did that, and although it was balancing out, I didn't think it was a bad idea to put just 10 grams of weight on the nose, just to put that nose down a little bit. And this seemed to make it a little bit less squirrely. So in terms of control, things are very nice. I'm in the high rates for some of the flights here, where you'll see the big inputs. I put it into the low rates and it was really docile and very easy to control along the sky. My only problem was, because the wind was a little bit strong, it was having problems making the turn in some direction, so I sort of went back to the full rates. But I think if you're just beginning and you go out on these basic, quite gentle rates, you'll have a fine time just moving this along the sky up at some height. I was pretty much just flying around, probably far too low for this sort of plane really, because it can't get out of trouble that easily. It hasn't got that top end power to really climb out because it's only got a 2S LiPo in it. Another feature of this plane I quite enjoyed was its quietness. Aside from the fact it's not spinning a huge prop, it's a 70-40. It's obviously at the front, which doesn't generate as much noise as your normal wing with the pusher prop. Again, this is the first tractor prop I've ever used, as well as the first plane with landing gear. So a day of firsts. Now when it came time to bring it down, I knew I was going to have issues here because, of course, I haven't got any sort of runway. I've just got this long grass, and those wheels just act as this magnet to catch hold of the grass and spin it over the top like that. But that one was okay. Tricky conditions, but I thought I might try a ground takeoff. Didn't quite work there, but second attempt we managed to get up in the air, so I was very pleased.
So a quick word about the wheels. The wheels are a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that takeoff from the ground, but unless you've got a really nicely mowed piece of very short grass or some sort of solid concrete to land on, they're going to come off. These couple of landings I had, the wheels pinged off. They're sort of held in with these little screws here, but not absolutely tightly, so they come off and you can put them back on. I did actually fly it without the wheels once, mainly because I'd forgotten the screwdriver, and that flew pretty well. The only problem comes to the point when you land again, and it's been a little ongoing problem with mine. On that first launch and crash, I broke the prop, and on this next landing, which was the one without the wheels, I also managed to break the prop. Now I came in a bit quick and the wind was swirling around, so I didn't quite get the flare that I wanted, to say the least. And this prop broke again, broke at the hub, just like this one. So I don't know if these props are particularly brittle or it's more the problem of the prop is the first thing that's going to hit. But in the box there was this little gubbins that creates a prop saver. Now it's not going to look as nice as the kind of scale spinner type thing, but I thought I'd put this on and hopefully it'd give a little bit of movement there. So let's have a quick look what that looks like. So here's the prop saver installed, and I would say it's not very pretty, is it? But I suppose the idea is functional. The idea being, if you hit, this is kind of just inside this hex nut, so it should come away like that. So instead of snapping, it'll just go like that, which you then just put back on again. But God, it doesn't stick out and looks odd. So yeah, I don't know. It's an option. I've got some more props on the way, so we will see. Depends how many I break coming up. So a quick word about the description on the website, because when I first got the link from Banggood, I was like, oh, it's got a gyro, that's great. And then when I opened the box, it clearly didn't have one. And I thought, oh, I must have looked at the wrong link. But I looked back at the link that they asked me to put in the video here, and once again it says RTF Super Cub with a gyro, and there's no gyro in here. It's pure manual. And I checked this with Banggood to say, have I got the wrong thing inside, or is this the wrong description? And they thought it was in the receiver. Receiver's just a basic 4-channel. Here's a picture. There's no gyro in that, and there's very clearly no help with your surfaces, and you'd need an extra channel to be able to turn the gyro on and off. So I don't know at this point if I've got the situation of they've not put a gyro inside and they were supposed to, or it doesn't come with one. There's nothing in the box and there's nothing in the manual. I think it's a mistaken description. I mention this because I don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to tidy up the description or what? But no gyro anywhere in this plane. Flies manually. So in conclusion then, it's a nice little trainer plane. I wouldn't say if you've never flown anything before you're going to be able to pick this up and fly it, because it still needs a little bit of knowledge on setup. So the idea of this, it sort of says this is the plane to get where you've got a friend to help you fly it. And helpfully enough, the controller even has a trainer port, so someone could plug in there and help you along. That said, once it's in the air and you use the basic gentle rate, it's very easy. You sort of go full stick and it sort of goes nice gentle turns like this. So that's very good, although you have to remember the flight in very calm winds. But yeah, if you're in the right situation, you've got no RC gear at the moment, this is a nice little package. Gets everything in the box ready to fly, including your charger. Takes about 10 minutes to put together, another 20 minutes to put the decals on. But yeah, you can get in the air pretty quickly, and it's fairly tough. I mean, apart from the props, which I've managed to break 2 off after dunking into its nose, there's no damage anywhere else on the plane. The wheels pop off, the prop breaks, and you're good to go. So yeah, I liked it. But what about expansion capabilities? And to be fair, it's not got much space inside. It's a sort of your basic trainer plane. It's not really designed to go crazy on. However, a TX03, and I literally carry one of these around at all times, stuck on there, would give you instant FPV. Similarly, you could swap the receiver out. This little TX receiver combination gives about 300 meters, and if you're flying line of sight, as soon as you're at 100 meters, it's pretty much a spec, so you wouldn't want to go much further. But it's easy, just swap this out for something like a Free Sky and have 1.5 kilometers if you like. Although you're going to be limited on the sort of the battery it can take and what it can do. I mean, it is a park fly and it does that well, but there's absolutely no reason you couldn't expand your flying with a bit of simple FPV and take that around the park on a different sort of view. And I might try that a bit later. But for now, links are of course in the description down below. If you're interested in that, please take a look at the Banggood website. As soon as I get some new props, I'll be trying this again and doing a little bit of FPV. Bye for now.